Hey believers, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Shelly, your new favorite manifestation YouTuber and manifestation bestie. Hey bestie. If you'd like me to help you believe your manifestation into reality, please subscribe down below and join the believer family. I want to share with you guys something that I have actually been using for, I'm going to even say off and on, for maybe the past 5 months, maybe 4 months, or maybe 3. I'm trying to narrow it down for you guys, but I just want to share it with you, and it is the power of your imagination. I am sure you guys have heard of this before, but if you haven't, I'll give you like a quick rundown. So basically, before you go to bed tonight, or even throughout the day, I want you to take that scene, imagination, imagine yourself having the thing that you already want. And so what I did is I used this with my SP. Even though the 3D was telling me completely opposite of what I was affirming, I mean, completely opposite, awful. I imagined myself sitting at a restaurant. I imagined my SP coming in with this big box. You know those box of roses, you guys? Like, you see them on Instagram all the time. It's like a heart box or square box, and it's like those roses that like last like months or like years or something like that. I've always wanted those, you guys. So I've always wanted that as a gift. So in my mind, I imagine my SP coming into this beautiful restaurant, one of my favorites, carrying this box and says, "Hey, beautiful," and kisses me and says, "I have something for you." I open it up. It's these roses, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous. So I took that imaginative scene and I replayed it before I went to bed at night until I fell asleep, in that assumption that this thing was real. And then throughout the day, not even affirming, just imagining during that, throughout the day, that I have this thing, just imagining the scene. And I imagined it so much that you can tell that your mind is like, oh my gosh, did this happen? Did this not happen? Because you've confused your mind because you keep imagining and imagining. And then on top of that, I was affirming. I threw affirming in there too. So I want you guys to just fall into this imaginative scene. And I got this technique from Neville Goddard. I'm sure you guys have heard of Neville Goddard. And so you fall asleep in this assumption. Don't put it, I want the, you know what? I want this to be like a challenge, like a fun challenge. Okay, so spontaneous challenge. It wasn't supposed to be about challenge, but I think that might be fun. And let's do this, and let's not put a time limit on it. Let's just, for the next week or so, just fall asleep in the imagination of this imaginative scene. During out the day, just I want you to picture this imaginative scene. Don't think against it, okay? You can't think against it. And if your mind starts to wander, because even Neville Goddard's mind started wandering, and when he first started doing, I wish I had brought the book in front of me, you guys, but it was like him and his family. They were trying to go to, I think it was Barbados, or they were on like a trip. They needed to get to a trip. So, and I think I'm messing up the story, so I don't want to keep going on with that. But anyway, Neville started falling asleep in with his imagination, believing at this thing that he was going to go on this trip that had already happened. And you know what? I'm sorry, guys, if it wasn't a trip. I should have had the book in front of me, but anyway, I don't, so we're just going to keep going on. So anyway, I did this with my SP. I think I did it for maybe, and this was at a time in the past when we were not talking. I think I did that for maybe 2 weeks because, and you guys, it took me so long because I had so much emotional attachment to this SP and this whole situation that I would believe it and then not believe it, then believe it, then think against it. So that's why it took me so long. But now I'm in a place where I got this, you guys. Master manifestation, okay? Master manifestation. I just got my SP back within 3 days of getting them back, losing them, and then getting them back again. Okay, just saying. So I want you guys to do that. We're going to call it the Imagination Challenge. Whoop! Imagination Challenge. Tonight, go to sleep in the imagination, in that 5-second imagination scene of you already having the thing that you want, whatever it is. Apply it to this. Fall asleep in it. Every night before you go to bed, fall asleep in it. We're not putting a time limit on it. You're going to fall asleep in the assumption that you already have it in that imaginative scene. During out the day, I want you to reimagine that imaginative scene, and you can add affirming to it too. Why not give it a boost? Because that's what I did. I'm just giving you guys my experience, what I did here. So I took Neville Goddard's imagination, his technique, and then I added some affirming during the day. But before I went to bed, I didn't really affirm. It was more just imagination of that scene that I told you guys that I used. So I want you to do that. We're going to call it the Imagination Challenge. We're not going to put a time limit. Let's leave it open for 2 or 3 weeks. Let's just leave it open, period. I don't even want to say 2 or 3 weeks because that's putting a time limit, which contradicts what I just said. So we're just going to leave it open, and I want you guys to fall asleep in your imaginative scene. I want you to let me know how it goes because I already know it's going to go good. Stick to it. Affirm. Don't think against it. Anytime that random thought comes into your mind, we're going to reaffirm that we have it and start reimagining that imaginative scene even harder, over and over and over again, because you got to fight those negative devil biatch thoughts, okay? You got this. You can do this. This worked for me, you guys. I did this. And I did this also prior to the roses scene that I told you guys that I made up. It was like around my birthday, right? And I was still wavering, you guys. So it took me a little longer. I'm just being honest with you because I want you to know the real deal. You know, I don't want to come across as everything, you know, like I want you to know that sometimes you got to stick to it. Sometimes you got to make sure you don't waver, that I'm not perfect, that I had to learn, that I've had victories and defeats. And I think that's important. I don't think a lot of people share that. They always just share their victories, but I want to do my victories and my defeats. So it was around my birthday time. I wanted to be with my SP on my birthday. So I picked my whole outfit. I had like a pink top on with a little pink sweater. In my mind I did. Pink top with a little pink sweater and these black leggings. And you guys, I just thought I was just going to be so cute. That's what I pictured myself in. That's what I pictured myself in. I pictured us at a restaurant. I pictured us at the table, them holding my hand, them kissing my hand, them saying happy birthday to me, them saying that they missed me. Then I pictured us then it was like I was change it up. And then I pictured them walking me to my car, like us leaving the restaurant holding each other's hands. And I'm in my outfit and we're walking to the car holding hands. And so my birthday came and passed. You know, I was a mess emotionally, constantly reacting to the 3D. And then it was like a month later, I finally got a grip on this manifestation thing, you guys. And we ended up going to that exact restaurant. And the crazy thing is that when we spoke, they were like, oh, well, let's go to this such and such restaurant. I was like, oh, well, that place is closed down, like, which it really did. It closed down. I was like, and they were like, well, what other restaurant? What about that one such and such restaurant that you like? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. I didn't even see, you guys, that my imagination was happening. And then I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, isn't this the restaurant that I was imagining this scene with? We went to that exact restaurant, you guys. I wore that exact outfit. We came out the restaurant holding hands exactly as I thought. My hand got kissed. Like, I was just like blown away. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is how I freaking imagined it. This is just how I imagined it. So you guys, this stuff works. I want you to try it. The Imagination Challenge. Leave it open. Don't doubt it. Get lost. Get saturated in this imaginative scene. You got this. Don't think against it. Don't let that devil biatch come and talk you out of your imagination. Don't let him talk you out of your manifestation because you got this. Once it's in here, it's a done deal. Say I have it, it's done. All right, you guys, I want you to try it. Leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.